Today I watched the new Netflix series, Castlevania. For those who don't know, Castlevania is a long-standing video game series from Konami that goes back to the era of the NES. The story of Castlevania can be summed up like this. Every 100 years or so, evil reigns, Dracula comes and starts doing bad things, and then it's up to the Belmont family to come and get rid of him. For years now, there's been talks of making a Castlevania movie or TV show. It's never really come to anything, and then suddenly here comes Netflix saying, hey, we got an animated series for you guys. It's 4 episodes long, and they're about 25-23 minutes each. When I first saw the trailer for Castlevania, I was thinking they were using Castlevania 3 as a template from what I saw, and I was pretty much right. They're not featuring Simon Belmont, who is the most famous from Castlevania 1 and 2. Instead, they're going with Trevor Belmont from Castlevania 3, and for those who don't know, Castlevania 3 is actually a prequel to Castlevania 1 and 2. So, just so you know that. We also get to see characters like Sypha and Alucard. We haven't seen Grant. He could still be in the series if it continues, but he's not in the first season. Without getting into too much spoiler territory, I do want to give my thoughts on this first season of Castlevania. I was surprised that they didn't just have Dracula show up and then, oh, here comes Trevor Belmont, he's going to come save the day. Instead, they spent a lot of time developing Dracula's motivation for being the bad guy. It's kind of strange because they almost make him a sympathetic villain, which doesn't really happen in the game, so this is kind of new territory for that. And even Trevor Belmont, who we are introduced to in the second episode, I expected him to be brave and serious and dutiful, gotta go help the people. But instead he's foul, he's apathetic, he's mostly self-centered and sarcastic. He's not at all what I expected. Overall, I thought the first season was good. The animation has its ups and downs. It's not bad at all, but it's not always consistent, which I think that would be something that would be ironed out if the series does continue. I think the visual designs for the characters, especially the main characters, are pretty good. But as you get more to the minor and background characters, it's pretty bland. About as bland as it could be. There are a few action sequences that are pretty good. They're mostly engaging, even sometimes somewhat humorous. Though the best one overall was between Alucard and Trevor in episode 4. It's pretty cool. Like I mentioned before, I have kind of mixed feelings about the characters of Trevor and Dracula. It seems almost out of place at times, but it's also kind of fascinating because it's new, it's different. So, I mean, it's not really what I was looking for, but I don't know, it could work. I'm kind of curious to see where it goes. I think Sypha and Alucard are pretty good. We don't see a lot of them through this first season, but what we do see, I really like. There are other minor characters. They're pretty forgettable, very cliche. Outside the main cast, there's no one really very interesting. They certainly don't hold back from blood and gore here in Castlevania, but it's Castlevania. I come to expect that. But they also have a fair amount of foul language, and usually for no reason at all. I guess they thought, we're trying to reach a mature audience, so we should put in some foul language, and that'll definitely help reach our audience. It's not necessary. It's stupid. It's uninspired. It takes you out of it. If anything, it's distracting. This show really was intended for the older fans, people who have played the original trilogy of Castlevania, especially Castlevania 3. And there are some nods to the original series. Some things that, I remember this in the game. That's interesting. That's a cool detail. And I'd be down to watch the second season, really because the first season was mostly an introduction to the characters and to the lore of Castlevania. So you don't get too far into the story. So I really like to see a second season. Let's just see where it goes. And the show actually does stick pretty close to the original lore in the games, and I think that was a really good move. There's even some details about Dracula that come right out of Bram Stoker's book. And that's really cool. I think fans of the video game series will like this first season of Castlevania, but I think those who are not really familiar with the original source material, I think they'll find it just far less interesting. I was watching this with Beth, and she fell asleep during the 4th episode. So I'll give the first season of Castlevania 3 out of 5. Thanks for tuning in to our review of Season 1 of Castlevania, the Netflix original series. Have you seen it? What do you think? What would you like to see if it continues? Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you next time.